Alright guys, it's time for another land battle in Total Warhammer 3. It's going to be Khorne versus Tzeentch. Yes, this is Tzeentch's showcase. I don't even know the players right now, I'm going to have to check afterwards. But it'll be in the description, so there you go, I'm just going to call them Khorne and Tzeentch. Simple, right? What have we got on either side? We've got the Bloodthirsters. This is a very typical opening for Khorne. You've got a very powerful Exalted Bloodthirster which has brilliant stats and heavy armor piercing and damage. And then you've got the normal Bloodthirster which has slightly worse stats but has anti-large. So if these bad boys ever catch up to this Herald of Tzeentch, flying around in his little disc of Tzeentch, then yeah, this guy's going to get wrecked, obviously, but this guy is 105 speed, so in theory, if you micro correctly, they will never ever catch this guy. We've got some Fleshhounds of Khorne on the peripheries, we've got a Cultist of Khorne down there that can summon some Bloodletters, we've got more Fleshhounds of Khorne on the peripheries. Fleshhounds are really nice because they're doggo units, they're really quick, but they do a lot more damage than typical doggos. That's going to be great for chewing through all these scary horrors on the side, but ideally getting onto the Flamers, because Flamers of Tzeentch are terrifying. There's only 12 of them in a squad, but they do gigantic armor piercing, warp flame inducing, so armor piercing and armor sundering AoE damage, which will melt your Chaos Warriors. But the Chaos Warriors themselves, with their higher levels of armor, will trade relatively well against the Forsaken of Tzeentch. Let's have a look at the stat comparison. So yeah, you can see that both of them have Frenzy, but the Forsaken of Tzeentch has less base HP, but they make up for that by having an 800 HP barrier as well. More armor on the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, slightly more attack, but way lower charge bonus and weapon strength. So yeah, I think the Forsaken of Tzeentch should actually beat the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. I'm not sure how the cost matches up there. Maybe it would have been nice to get some Berserker Warriors of Khorne, but of course the problem there is Berserker Warriors don't have shields, so then they get wrecked by the Blue Horrors. We'll have to see how this match goes. Blue Horrors are your chaff unit for Tzeentch. Just going into this because I've not really explained Tzeentch much. They get about 5 fireballs that each model can throw, which honestly is quite a lot, to be honest, and can inflict some serious damage. But other than that, there's 160 of them in a squad. They're pretty crap, but they're not totally useless in melee, and it makes them just a nuisance to push through. They can just outlast you, especially if the Tzeentch player cycles them in and out to recharge their barrier. Pink Horrors, on the other hand, they're better in melee, but the problem is there's only 80 of them in a squad, and 2 Blue Horrors is better than 1 Pink Horror in melee. Pink Horrors are longer range, have way more fireballs, they're a ranged unit, so you want to get onto them with your dirty Fleshhounds. And we also see a Herald of... oh no, I already talked about the Herald. It stayed back, as it should. Doesn't want to go anywhere near the Bloodthirsters. So there you go, we see everything splitting up now from each of the sides, and Tzeentch is trying to utilize his Pink Horrors to screen them away, but obviously you keep the Blue Horrors nearby because you need some backup. You don't want them to just charge straight into your Pink Horrors, that'd be a disaster. And we can see what happens when the Forsaken meet with the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Generally the Forsaken trade very well, and then you add in some of the fire from the Flamers of Tzeentch, because look at this angle. There's a few Chaos Warriors of Khorne exposed on this side. Well, they get absolutely melted. These Chaos Warriors of Khorne really need to charge in and do something. They're going to take some brutal hits from the Flamers. Look at the state of that damage, man. We've got the Herald of Tzeentch himself casting the Blue Flames of Tzeentch on the Exalted Bloodthirster to pin him down. Wow, these warriors really need to be charging the Flames of Tzeentch. I do not know what they're doing. Now, the Bloodletter summon here from the Cultist of Khorne is doing really well, chopping up some Blue Horrors of Tzeentch that are saturated with the Spawn of Tzeentch. I really like this Tzeentch play, but looks like a nice engagement has happened here for the Fleshhounds of Khorne, managing to isolate the Horrors and take a fight 1v1. They should eventually win that. And the Herald actually looks like it did get caught, getting hit once by the Exalted Bloodthirster here. Again, the Horrors on the, let's call it the left flank, they're actually taking some pretty big damage from the Fleshhounds of Khorne, but now the Spawn of Tzeentch are in range, and there is Overwatch fire from the Blue Horrors. Flamers, unfortunately, not really able to do a whole lot. I think they're trying to hit these Fleshhounds of Khorne, but of course they're being blocked by their own units, which is not ideal. For the most part, the Chaos Warrior front line is kind of getting wrecked. It looks like they're pushing through here and pushing through here, however. Oh no, they're actually doing alright. There's only one Chaos Warrior that's failing, the one on this end. And this one's backed off as well, but these are some wow, I'm struggling on that word. Debilitated units. So the blue horrors here, they've reached low enough HP that they're now actually starting to disintegrate, and they're going to be gone from the mortal planes pretty soon. The fleshhounds can move in. These fleshhounds taking pretty huge damage from the flamers, but they are intercepted by the exalted Bloodthirster, who should make very short work of them. Now the spawn of Tzeentch are doing their job here, and they manage to rout both these fleshhounds, which themselves dissipate, but not before getting rid of some of the blue horrors. However, there's just so many horrors left. This is the thing with Tzeentch, their horrors are so goddamn cheap, yet they really do take quite a lot of resources to deal with, just by the sheer fact that there's 160 of them damn things in every unit. And then the Herald has healed up a lot of the damage as well that he got at the outset of this game. Is this the global ability from Tzeentch, the big firestorm? It is. Let's see how much damage this can do. That could do quite a lot, actually. A lot of damage coming into the Bloodthirster. Ooh, a few of them are missing now. Yeah, it looks like the vast majority of them missed after the initial start. Wow, I feel like that Bloodthirster got quite lucky there. This is a close one. Okay, this spawn of Tzeentch is pretty healthy. We see some more ranged attacks coming out of the Herald of Tzeentch. But these flamers are probably going to get routed pretty quickly. A lot of fleshhounds still in action here. They should be able to pierce through these blue horrors. Trying to kill these Bloodthirsters is going to be tough for Tzeentch. You know, there's definitely nothing that the Tzeentch player has that can actually beat them in melee, except really the Chaos Spawn of Tzeentch. So as long as the Bloodthirsters can avoid those Chaos Spawn, they should be in a pretty good position. Flamers, if they can get a direct hit, will do huge damage, but it seems quite unlikely. Oh, another blue fire of Tzeentch that completely misses. Wow, that was weird. Why did that miss? I don't know, but the Herald has slipped up in his micro, actually gets caught by the Bloodthirster there, but does back off and fires a little fireball into his ass just to say, hey, stay away. I mean business. Now, because pink horrors are so short and the Bloodthirster is so tall, these flamers can fire over the top of the horrors into the Bloodthirster and do some really good damage, as you can see. So that is not an ideal engagement. You want to be tying up the flamers with higher priority than the pink horrors. The flamers do insane damage to everything that's nearby to the damn things. Okay, the blue horrors over here are dissipating. What is this down here? I don't know what that is. Oh my god, that is a infernal gateway of Tzeentch. That seems like such a late usage for that spell. 18 winds of magic, and it was to kill like 30 Chaos Warriors. Very questionable, desperate plays. Bloodthirster once again has caught up to this Herald of Tzeentch. Yeah, that's the barrier nearly down from one hit. Another hit, and that, yeah, goes straight through the barrier. The Tzeentch player really needs to keep that Herald moving. The problem is, if this Herald gets too low on HP, he's going to start disintegrating, and if he disintegrates, well, the rest of Tzeentch's army is going to follow very quickly afterwards. Now, blue horrors of Tzeentch on this side, this is a perfect use for the Cultist of Khorne. Cultist of Khorne, does he have his banner? No, he doesn't, because he's exhausted. That'd be even better if he had his banner. But regardless, he still has 463 melee damage and 75 armor. With this stat line, the chaff blue horrors, they're basically never going to hit him, as we can actually see if I just go like that and you look at his HP. He barely loses any. Barely loses any as he just chips away and chips away at these blue horrors. So we're getting to a position now where most of the infantry forces of Khorne have actually been routed. See, the Chaos Warriors are all running away, but it's another Flamer squad disintegrated. So now really all that Tzeentch has is this 14 spawns of Tzeentch and a couple of Forsaken. But the beautiful thing that Tzeentch has here, hopefully he has Winds of Magic left. He can just keep spamming the blue fire of Tzeentch on the Bloodthirsters and slowly try to snipe them with his Herald, just like that. Boom. That did some damage. I mean, the thing is, with Khorne, they do have innate 25% spell resistance, so that definitely helps them against that kind of cheese. There you go, we're using another global from the Tzeentch global bar. Trying to take down this Bloodthirster, but man, to be honest, the spawn of Tzeentch do not have the holding power here that really is required. If these guys fall, well, there's not really anything else left, so you can't just kite forever. That would be breaking the rules, and regardless, the forces of Tzeentch would probably disintegrate. Another blue fire of Tzeentch coming out on this side. Seems to be missing a lot of them. I don't really know why that is the case. I don't know if the Khorne player is doing anything to intentionally dodge that, but regardless, those blue fires of Tzeentch just are not hitting in the way that the Tzeentch player, I'm sure, wants them to. Looks like the pink horrors over here are going to disintegrate the Forsaken are routing down here, and as soon as these spawn go, the Tzeentch player is going to be in for a really rough time. The problem I see right now is that, honestly, yeah, the cultist is never going to die. He's just so tanky, he is not going to die. But yeah, that's it. That's army losses for the Tzeentch player. So his Herald is now disintegrating, and it's only the Chaos Spawn left, which of course are unbreakable. And that is it. Army losses are noticed, and so the Tzeentch player concedes. Let's go into the stat screen. So you can see the massive difference in the quantity of models that each player has deployed here. Blue Horrors putting in some pretty decent work. I mean, some of them did get compromised by the Fleshhounds, and you can see they didn't even pay for the 400 that they cost, which is very rare because Blue Horrors honestly are widely considered to be very overpowered for their price. Pink Horrors, in fact, even more so didn't really pay for themselves. I guess these guys did okay at 550. Not actually certain what Pink Horrors cost, I'll be honest with you, but it's probably around 700 or so. One of the Flamers didn't really do much, and the other one did amazing. This must have been the one that got all the damage on those Chaos Warriors in the initial opening engagement. This other one seemed to get obstructed and compromised quite quickly. Forsaken doing okay, not quite getting their value of 800 each, but let's see how that compares to the Khorne Warriors. Wow, the Chaos Warriors of Khorne actually did pretty damn solid, getting 800, more or less, with 3 of them. The other 2, not so much. They obviously were the ones that got hit by the Flamethrowers, but considering they got hit by the Flamers of Tzeentch, these guys actually still managed to accrue quite a lot of value. Let's look at the Khorne dogs. Wow, the Khorne dogs didn't really do great, but the thing is, they really split up the Tzeentch forces and forced the Tzeentch player to dedicate a lot of resources to them. Cultist did amazing. That value there obviously doesn't account for his summon, and he's got loads of health at the end. He did great, and so did the Bloodthirsters. Decent amount of damage on the Herald of Tzeentch, but a lot of that, honestly, just comes from using Blue Fire of Tzeentch on Bloodthirsters, who in the end didn't die. So, I don't know. I think it was a pretty good build from both players. Definitely pretty standard, works out. There's not really anything else you need to change. Just a good old Tzeentch versus Khorne scrap, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's going to be all for me today. It's your boy Torpid, signing out.